Chargers, and welcome back to another episode, or the first episode of the Los Angeles Chargers franchise. This is the Chargers update, and this is episode 1, and we're going to preview week 1 against the Kansas City Chiefs. So welcome to Madden 19. Hopefully you've seen the introduction video of this series, which we talked about this series and what's going to be in store for this year for Madden 19. But now we're going to talk about the team, actually talk about week 1, give you guys a quick preview. Now, the Chargers update, it's not going to be a series that we're going to have up here on the channel as much as we did like with the Cowboys Insider, where we had, the game, and then afterwards you've seen, we talked about I got the thoughts from the coaches from the post game or whatever. They'll either be from this series will either cover the post game or pre-game of some key matchups here, and of course the first game of the season. That's going to be very important for us, is because we're playing against one of our rivals, the Kansas City Chiefs. As you take a look at some of the roster here this year, and pretty much this is a pretty good roster. Now, if you know anything about the Chargers here, of course they moved from San Diego up to Los Angeles just last season was the first season really as the Los Angeles Chargers. Beforehand, they were of course in San Diego, and they've been wanting to stay in San Diego, but the only catch was they had to get a new stadium. Well, they did get that. So in this series, we will showcase the new stadium. Of course, that stadium will be actually being built right now in real life, and they won't be moving into it until 2020. And that's what's going to happen in this series. We're going to build that stadium here, and have it ready for 2020. We'll talk more about that later on in a future episode. I kind of fast forward some of this series ahead and see if the actual stadium, the new stadium, was in there, and it's not, which I'm really upset about it. Okay, well, not really upset, but kind of like they could have put the new stadium in there. Probably be in next year's game, probably the most. We're gonna build a stadium ourselves, and also too, I'm gonna kind of at some point here I will kind of control the Rams. So we can have identical stadiums. Set that up when we do, rebuilding a stadium on here on the series. So we'll get to more of that later on here. But majority of this team's been around for quite some time now, and of course the guy that we want to get to the promised land is no other than Mr. Philip Rivers himself. Now, of course, Philip Rivers been on this team since his very, very first day stepping on the field. If you remember, he was in that controversial trade between Eli Manning and himself, when Eli Manning's dad happened to step in there and told the Giants to, trade for Eli and all that kind of stuff. And of course, the rest is history. Now, 14 years, former NC State quarterback there. He's had some pretty good seasons, and he's kind of had some rough seasons, and he's hoping that things will get going for themselves. I feel like this is the year that he could do it. He has a team, at least with a lot of analysts around in the NFL who follow the NFL very well and quite often. They believe that they could be a Super Bowl contender this year. Now, in real life, we're only a couple of weeks into the NFL season. I know in real life that the Chargers lost this this first game against the Chiefs. And so, I've been kind of playing ahead of here and whatnot. So, kind of go with it here. Sometimes I'll reference to maybe the game that actually already happened or hasn't happened yet from time to time here. But for the most part here, I've already got majority of this series already up and going. And it'll be released here on certain days. Haven't really decided yet. I think it might be on Mondays and Wednesdays that we'll see the episodes. But like I said, the format of the show is going to be a little different. It won't be as... I feel like the last two Madden games with the Cowboys and the Steelers kind of feel stagnant. We're just kind of moving along too slowly because the the insider shows were kind of getting in the way and taking up a lot of time, which I wanted to have those on there because I wanted to really focus on the recruiting, or I should say the scouting and stuff like that, which we'll have that here on this series. But I just want to show a lot more of the inside of the numbers that I don't get to show here in the regular, in the game footage. I kind of want to, show you guys what happened in the game and really tell a story with it. So if it takes, a half hour to tell a story, that's what I'm at least trying to push for, is a half hour. I don't want to go more than that because I know a lot of you guys don't like 45-minute videos of highlight stuff. Some of you guys want that, some of you guys don't. Some of you guys want a quick 25 to 30 minute video and then show stats at the end. And so we're going to be trying different formats here, and let me know what kind of format you guys are looking forward to here, or what some suggestions that you guys would like to see here for this series. So take a look at, you got a great defense there. You got Joey Bosa there, who in real life his little brother is going to be stepping away from football. He's going to kind of get ready for the NFL here, as he's going to not be playing for the rest of the season. But for Joey, he would like to get a Super Bowl ring. Of course, you got Melvin Ingram on the opposite side of him there on the right end there, and I think those two are going to be very, very important guys on our defense there, and we're going to try to build around them for next year's couple seasons to come. Now, the idea for this series, I want to kind of move it quickly, and I want to kind of get some seasons in there. So my goal is this year is try to get at least 4 or 5 years in to this series. Like I said, it's going to be a little different. Not every game is going to be played. Some games will be CPU'd. So that means we'll sim some games there so we can move along, depending on the matchups and going that week and whatnot, and what happened from the previous week. So there's some, like I said, there's some changes here in this. I don't know when the video is going to come up, but the announcement video of what day this come up, it's coming up here soon, if it hasn't already been up already. But if it hasn't been up yet, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it now, we'll see some familiar faces in this series, because I plan on bringing in some former players that we've had in previous Madden games show up on here and be a part of the Chargers franchise. So you'll see some of these players. Some will be added to the draft boards. There's, so you can customize draft boards. We're also going to be using some customized drafts players from other YouTubers out there that have released their drafts, their create custom drafts that they made themselves. I know I'm going to be using, right now so far, I really like Blackjack's. If you guys are familiar with Blackjack, I'm using one of his. I think not this season. I'm using one just a random one. But after that, seasons from that, we're going to go around and just pick up different draft classes for others. And also, too, I'm going to create my own at some point here. So we'll have some guys that are familiar from the Highland Scotty series, possibly. Yeah. Also, some players that from my I got a big old notebook of players that I had when I back in the day, before I did YouTube, for players. And some of you guys already seen, like Matt Marvel, Theo Bond, or not Theo, TJ Bonds, and possibly maybe even a return of Pete Shiloh coming up to being a part of the Chargers franchise. So that is something that we are going to be going into here. So spoiler, if you haven't, if you've seen that video, I apologize. That was supposed to be a thing, but if you haven't seen the video, well, that's the whole video is going to be about. So take a look at our injuries here. You see our injuries, and some of those not too many key injuries. I say Watkins, probably the Watkins and the Henry are probably the two. Hunter Henry are part of our guy that we're tight end that we're looking at for the future here. Of course, we do still have Antonio Gates there on our team. But yeah, for the most part here, it's going to be really tough. Because Hunter was somebody I was really looking forward to playing with, but he's going to be out for a while. And then here's some of the players that we're going to possibly re-sign here. And there's some guys that we may not re-sign, just depending on how we play and how the season goes. And of course, I do all my signings towards the end of the year, unless there's a player I know that's red hot, or I have a good feeling about them, that they'll do well towards the end of the season, and they're a valuable piece. Then I'll go ahead and sign them. Other than that, everyone else was pretty much on the chopping block here. I know for a fact that I will say now Geno Smith will not be sticking around. He'll stay here for the remainder of the season, but there's a good chance that he will be gone next season. He will not make a return, amongst a couple others there down there on that list there. So and we'll get into more of that here in a future episode of the Charger update of who we're going to re-sign and who we're not. And we got all season long to worry about that. But normally, if you've been following this series or these type of series here on the channel, I usually worry about that stuff towards the end of the season there, of who I'm going to re-sign, because a guy might be red hot right now, but then towards the last 4 or 5 games of the season, he might be sputtering some, or he may come non-existent in the playoffs. So just kind of want to watch who we assign, and who we want to keep around, who we don't want to keep around. Take a look at the list for the regular season there. There's the games we'll be playing. Of course, week 7 we're going to go to England for that game against the Titans there. And then, of course, you got your rivalry games towards the end of the year against the Chiefs, Broncos, and the Raiders there. I think we played the Raiders twice early this season. So a lot of games coming up here. You got the battle for LA there in week 3, which is going to be very fun to play. I've already played it, and I'll tell you guys, it was something. But take a look at our week 1 tendencies here against the Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, if you guys don't know, I'm from the Kansas City area, so this is this series. Of course, the series I'm going to start with them. It's kind of a big time rebuild series that's going to be kind of really fun to do. If you haven't heard about that, there's a video about that coming up here, or it should be at least up here on the channel already. Definitely check out that. But yeah, there's some of the things we're going to have to watch out for. For offensively, we're going to have mid-range passing, anywhere from short to mid-range passing in here, and just really watch out for those linebackers, and really the defensive line there for the Kansas City Chiefs. We gotta get away from them. We can't throw deep too often, because Eric Berry is right there, as he's one of the top threats there on defense. To stop their offense, is Kelce is going to be their offense. That's their go-to guy right there. Besides their halfback, or their halfback there, Hunt, and of course Mahomes, their rookie quarterback there. He's very talented. In real life right now, he's just red hot right now. Those are some of those other key players that we have to worry about, but for sure, everything is going to run through Travis Kelce. So we got to really shut down Kelce. You see some of the numbers there, or some of the injuries there for the Chiefs. And like I said, Eric Berry right there, just a great player, and a guy that I just don't want to have to deal with too much here. We got to watch how we go against him. He's a hybrid type of player, and he'll keep his eye on the quarterback, and if he knows the quarterback's eyeing somebody too much, he will definitely take advantage of him and do what he needs to do to pick a ball out of the air there. So Eric Berry, for some reason I kept thinking he was injured for this season, but he will be playing this game. So that's going to be a very, very important person on defense that we're going to have to watch out for. Especially, even in the short route there, the curl route, stuff like that. Somebody that we're really going to have to watch out for, as he's a huge threat on defense there. So whoever he's covering, which I'm assuming he's going to be covering Benjamin, or he's going to be covering everywhere, pretty much. Just put it that way. Regardless who he's covering, he's going to have if he has. If the ball's thrown to him on that side of the field more often, he's going to have a good day. Justin Houston, there you see the right outside linebacker there. I believe in real life he is currently injured right now, and he'll be coming off the injury roster. But for right now, this season, he'll start off here. He had a pretty good season last year, and he's just one of those great linebackers that Kansas City always usually has here. In the last couple of years here that do very, very well, and especially games like this, especially against other AFC West opponents, they will love to eat our quarterback alive, knowing that he's not much more a mobile quarterback. He will definitely do some damage on us. Travis Kelce, like I said earlier, a great offensive player. And like I said, offense will go through him, and the Chiefs will make sure that he'll get enough touches there to get him through the game, especially when it comes to the red zone. That is something that we're going to have to look out for and really try to manage. Kelce last season, he had 83 receptions, he had 1,038 yards and 8 touchdowns, and I wouldn't say majority of those were in the red zone there. So if we end up having the Chiefs in a red zone type of situation, this is somebody that we have to check off first. Like, okay, coverage, make sure Kelce is covered. I would say probably a lot of zone packages in that situation there to just kind of keep Kelce off his toes there. Maybe some one-on-one. One-on-one, I think going against them one-on-one against Kelce in the red zone, it's dangerous. So we're gonna have to have guys covering him, maybe some double coverage, but zone definitely for sure, because I think man-to-man he's just gonna eat us alive. Kareem Hunt, one of the best backs from last season, and it continues to be in that same way this year. Like I said, I've got we're a couple weeks into the Major League or to the NFL. He has just a great speed there, probably one of the speediest rusher out there, and keeping him shut down and locked down here is going to be at most the most important thing when it comes to our running game there. And of course, Chargers not known, with run blitzing and stuff like that, but that's something we're trying to get ourselves to be about. And if we get help from Joey Bosa and company, I think that would really help us out there in this game. And of course, Patrick Mahomes last season, was a rookie, played a couple games last year, but this year he is now he is in front and center here in Kansas City, I should say. He'll play his first game here as the quarterback, the future quarterback for the Chiefs. This in week 1 here, and of course no numbers on him last year. I will say on Hunt, he had 272 carries, 1,337 yards, and 8 touchdowns and a fumble from last season. So not a lot of rushing touchdowns, but I mean, get up and go here with Hunt. I mean, him and Holmes, for that offense there, and of course Kelce, and then of course you got Connolly and Sammy Watkins. I mean, this is going to be week 1 is not going to be fun for us at all. We going to have a tough go at this, and we'll just have to see what we can do. And of course, this is right there, as you see, Anthony Lynn's first year. This is going to be his first year as a head coach for the Chargers, and we'll see what he can do here, if he can take this team to the promised land that so many analysts and talking heads in the NFL are saying that his team could be a Super Bowl contender for the Raider going into this 2018-2019 season. So we'll see how things go here coming up in week 1. So week 1 against the Kansas City Chiefs at home at StubHub Field. StubHub Stadium, I think is what it's called, and that'll be coming up here very, very soon here on the channel. So thank you guys so much. I cannot wait to start this series. I think you guys are going to enjoy this series and the new formats and the new stuff we're going to have for this series. So just bear with me, and the first video should be up here within a couple of days. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for more Chargers updates here on the channel, here on ESGNet. Let's get started. Let's get some football. Let's get some going. Let's get them going. Let's go Bolts. I will see you guys If you guys enjoyed today's video, please leave a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you have not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button and be a part of the ESGN Nation. Not to mention, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Discord. And check us out there for the latest news and events on what's going on here on the channel and what's going on in the world of sports and gaming in general. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.